Hi, I'm Vanessa with Ellie Mac. Welcome back to my sewing room. Today, we're going to do a major upgrade on a gym wardrobe classic. All right, I'm gonna be really honest. I have been very slow to get on the cute gym clothes boat. I am somebody who, I teach a yoga class for the past 7 years, just a free yoga class for my neighbors. And I literally come in with the most wrinkly old shirt that you can ever imagine and some leggings I probably have had for way too long. I just normally don't invest in really cute gym clothes, nor do I sew them because I am terrified of ripping a seam in my yoga pants and having to admit that I caused that. But the other day I put on my hiking shirt just to go because I needed something quick, and it was right on top and it looked so cute and I felt so cute. So I was looking through some of the most popular exercise clothes and I came across the Taylor Swift made famous workout skirt. A lot of people are using it for pickleball. I think it's just really cute. So what it is the tiered mesh skirt over leggings, and that is what we're going to do today. It's going to be so cute, I promise. We're going to use Ellie Mac patterns. We're going to use the Teresa tiered skirt, as well as I'm going to actually use the Not So Basic pants. I know those aren't leggings, but they're actually fitted through the thigh, and I really like the fit of them. So we're going to use both of those patterns to create this very trendy skirt. But before we get to the cutting table, a lot of times you guys ask me what I'm wearing. So I got my chair moved out of the way, and this is the Jessica dress that I have to have the lace up back. And I learned if you tuck in the sides where it's gathered, it makes your back smooth. So I just want to show you an update on this dress. I have to say it's so comfortable though. It gives the best back support. I know it's supposed to give you curves, but the back support is so nice. Like, can you tell I'm almost turning 40? But I just want to give you an update.
Let's talk about the Teresa tiered skirt. This skirt has so many length options. I absolutely love it. You can have 2-tiered or 3-tiered, and it's perfect for any occasion. It's going to work great for this skirt today. I picked the little bit longer length on my 2 tiers, and I'm being very careful when I cut with this mesh. I'm making sure that I'm cutting nice and smoothly so I have even lines and I'm not pulling any threads because that will create a run. So just be very careful with this fabric. Now, I normally make the wide leg of these Not So Basic pants, so I started cutting the wide leg just like normal, coming in a little bit at the thighs to make the legging option. And then I pulled up the waistband. And I should have known Ellie and Mac's patterns are always packed with so many options that there is a legging option. So I put my wide leg pants on top of my legging option style, and I was able to cut them correctly. I also cut them at the knee length and ended up having about 4.5 inches off, so you can adjust accordingly at this point. And then I cut the Not So Basic waistband that I'm going to be using for the skirt and the leggings. Now, here's a little hack that I do to make sure that I don't end up with 2 of the same legs, is to put the front bowls together, and then you can clip the side seams. Now, I want to make sure that the center bowl seam is nice and secure. So I'm actually going to do the side seams first, and then I'm going to have a continuous bowl seam. So once you get done sewing the side seams, I also locked in the bottom seams. Now I'm going to take one pant leg and I'm going to turn it right side out. And then with the right side out pant leg, I'm going to put it inside the other pant leg that's inside out. This means that I have one pant leg in the other with right sides together. Now when I start clipping at this bowl seam, you can see that I'm clipping with the outside fabrics together because you can see the seam. This is very important because you don't want to have one pant leg inside out than the other. And then from this point, you're just going to clip all the way around the bowl, making sure that everything is lined up evenly. And to the serger I go, making sure that my side seams are lined up so I have a straight line down the center of my pants. And then I'm going to take my inside pant leg out, and we're going to make sure that these shorts are looking right. So once I pull my inside seam out, you can see my pants are perfectly sewed inside out. And then I'm going to flip them right sides together, and you can see how nice they look. Now at this point, we are actually done with the shorts. We're going to set these aside and get our skirt done, because our skirt's going to gather around the shorts before the waistband. So I have 4 different layers of this mesh fabric. So I'm going to have 2 tiers but 4 pieces. Now normally I would sew up the side seams before I do the gathering, but because mesh is a little difficult to work with, it's a little easier to gather it separately. Another tip that I have is to hand gather and not increase your tension. Have you ever left your threads long, but your gather stitch was so well that when you ended up lengthening out those gathers, your extra length was used up and your thread was too short? I'm telling you, that's always my worst nightmare. So I would rather hand gather here. I used a 3mm gather stitch because it does gather well. I can have it a little tighter. And then I'm going to make sure that I clip it a little extra, because sewing with thread fabric that's like a little see-through is hard, and plus it moves around, and so I want to use as many clips as I need to make sure that I have the best control. So they are definitely your best friend when working with mesh. So after I have both skirts gathered and clipped together, it's time to baste, of course. So I'm using the longest zigzag stitch I have, and I'm just making sure that my gathers are all facing the right direction and they're evenly spaced as I'm going through my sewing machine. So after I have it basted, it's time to take it to the serger, and I'm just being very careful with how much I cut off. And then it's time to sew up those side seams. And at this point, I'm getting so excited. We're getting so close. And so make sure that you clip around where those seams hit at the side to make sure that they look like they're not off-centered here. And then to the serger I go to finish up this skirt. This is going to be so cute. Just looking at how nicely this mesh skirt is coming together, it's going to look so adorable on those bike shorts. It'll be the perfect skort for working out. So this is my top tier, and again I'm adding another gathered stitch with the 3mm with 1/4 inch seam allowance here. And this time we're gathering it on to those bike shorts that we made earlier. So again, I'm going to be hand gathering here all the way around until they are the perfect fit on those bike shorts. And then I'm going to have right sides out, putting them over with the right side out bike shorts and clipping them all the way around. Now again, you want to make sure that everything is clipped. It's a little hard because there's not side seams on these bike shorts, and so you want to make sure that you are lined up at the right spot so your front and back seams are lined up and you clip. Now from here, I'm going to be basting them on again with that zigzag stitch. And then it's time to add the waistband. So I quarter the waistband just like it is a neckband, and I'm going to make sure that I clip it on the front and back side as well as on the sides. And then at the serger, I can stretch it on just like I would a neckband. And as you can see, it looks so cute, but my shorts are so long. So I ended up cutting 4.5 inches off of these shorts on both sides evenly. And then from here, I serged them and then did a rolled hem all the way across at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And you can see it right here. And then I added a decorative bow. Now you are more than welcome to add an elastic and have this tie go all the way through, but I go for comfort every single time. And just like that, these exercise skirts are done. And may I say, they are adorable and twirl approved. I may not be able to sing, but I feel like a sewing rock star in these. I hope you give this a try, whether you play pickleball, run, or do yoga. These will be perfect for all occasions. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you so much again. Have a wonderful day.